where best friends and next door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian.
And this is Maddie.
Oh, we did that good. We didn't
Yeah,
even
we did do that
practice.
good. Yeah, high five. We could have practiced, but we didn't. We just said we were
Oh,
going to
we
do
didn't
it and we
practice
did
at
it. Good
all.
for us.
Yeah,
You know
indeed.
what? Pat on our back.
All right. I'm not going to do it, but I'm
I
thinking
did.
about
I
doing it.
did physically did it. I physically did it because we deserve that.
Well, and honestly, like you're just nicer and better than me.
Okay. Swinging out really strong on the
Yeah.
compliments today, Lillian.
Oh, no, it's just like I don't even see it as a compliment. I'm just kind of a gobliny trash bag hater. That's all there is to it. That's
God,
fine.
we all be sometimes though.
It do be like that. All right. So, what do you got for us today?
Uh,
On your very
so
first episode, I would like to
It
add.
is. Well, it's not my first episode, but it's my first episode hosting and also my first where we're actually talking about a crime because
Indeed.
that's something we're supposed to talk about on the show.
Sometimes.
Um so I actually have the story of Casey and Vicky White. No relation, by the way. They were just both last name White, but
Oh, that's interesting.
they basically pulled a giant prison break and were across the country for 11 days where police officials couldn't catch him. And the guy, Casey, is really fucked up. And the girl, Vicky, fun fact, she was the guard that was supposed to be taking care of him.
I know this
So,
case briefly. I mean, I think I watched
yeah.
a Netflix show and then fell asleep. So you're gonna still
Yeah, you
surprise me
probably
today.
saw Love on the Run,
That was it. It was Love on the
which I
Run.
I didn't even watch. Didn't even see it. I actually went to the local library because I love an excuse to go to the library. And I
Oh
was able to
wow, you're a
pull
nerd.
I I mean accurate actually. I at one point between the ages of like 10 and 14, I was going to the library once a week every week and picking out probably 10 books and I would just swallow them through the week and then return them
There
for
is
more.
something about like that age range where you just read way more than you ever read in your entire life.
I was a voracious reader. That's a $10 word for you.
I was about to
Um
say, damn, Scrabble. Damn.
oh, I would love to be nicknamed Scrabble. That would be a killer yeah, that would be a killer nerd nickname.
I was fixing to
Um
say.
but yeah, so I went to the local library to just do research and to like kind of be in my element. And when I say that I pumped the script out in probably 4 hours, and then also another 45 minutes once I got home and realized that I didn't edit it at all, which is why we're recording this so late at night. Um, yeah,
Well, they
so
didn't know that. You didn't have to tell them. We could have acted like we
I
were super responsible.
we aren't, and they
Nope.
should know that about us.
They do already. I
Because
mean,
if they start expecting things out of me and I'm new, no, I'm okay. I'm fine actually.
put the expectation bar in hell where it belongs, huh?
I mean, it doesn't have to be in hell. I could do a light limbo, medium limbo even. I just like I'm not going to be Hermes Conrad from Futurama, but I'm going to do my best.
Damn, you are a nerd. All right, well, let's get to the case. I'm anxious to hear about it.
Yes. Okay. So I totally wrote like a scripty intro, but I was really excited about this. So I'm just
Well,
gonna
let's
kind of
trigger warning this shit first, as is
That's
tradition.
so true. I was about to forget. So trigger warning, there isn't that much detailed information. Unfortunately, there was a lack of details for the public of this case, but we're just going to go ahead and put in a small little warning here for like, manipulation and suicide and like vague mentions of animal abuse. But that should be basically it.
All right.
All right. So, murder, escape, love. There are few things in the world that people deem worthy enough to kill for: money, glory, lust, power. But 38-year-old Casey Cole White would have an interesting motive for his crimes. It all started in August 20th, 1983, where the White family was blessed with their new baby boy. But they had no idea what kind of deviant had come home with them. Casey grew up in Lester, Alabama. Shout out Alabama, Limestone County, just a rock's throw away from Lauderdale County, where he would spend the rest of his natural life. Standing at 6'9" and a few hundred
Are
pounds,
you
Casey
shitting
White
me?
was an
6'9"?
6'9".
This is
He
a
was
giant
huge.
man.
And not only was he huge, he was covered in white supremacy tattoos.
We
That
gotta
was,
love that. That's
oh yeah, it
not
was connected
terrifying
with
at all.
oh God, the Brotherhood, the Southern Brotherhood. That's what it was.
Oh, ew.
It was, yeah, crazy. Um, but he was intimidating. He was huge, muscled. He was actually a football player for his high school as well. So when I say buff, I mean brick shit house.
Damn.
Um, Actually, many police report that they knew him as a child, which we haven't really been able to confirm if he had an abusive childhood, but we have reasons to believe that he did. And that's further proved by court records showing that he had dozens of arrests by the mid 2000s for various different charges. I'm talking reckless driving, public intoxication, traffic citations. I want to say underage drinking, nonviolent crimes, like things that you wouldn't really feel threatened by.
You'd call
But
him a
those,
rascal, is what you'd
yeah,
do.
he was a little rascally. He was
Yeah.
thuggy, maybe.
A scoundrel,
But
perhaps.
yeah,
Yeah.
but those kind of slowly ramped up until 2006, where he was actually arrested on a domestic violence and harassment charge by his own mom, which is Connie Moore.
Oh.
And we actually have almost no information about this case, because they were dropped probably like 2 weeks later.
Oh, like the
Um,
charges were dropped?
yep.
Okay.
His mom never offered an explanation. She's never gone on record as to why there were like domestic violence and harassment like charges. And actually they have a very close relationship now that he's out of or now that he's like in prison and still in prison. Um but he didn't stop with just his mom. Actually, many people believe that White is actually the one responsible for the alleged suicide of his girlfriend in February 2008, who actually died in one of his mom's, Connie's, trailers by a sawed off shotgun to the chest. And just kind of like as a side note, that weapon is something that has always bothered me about this case so far. The
Yeah,
leading
like,
cause of death and suicide is absolutely firearms, like hands down.
yeah.
Why? I mean, it's quick, it's immediate, it's usually painless. I mean, my own best friend literally committed suicide with a handgun when we were 17.
But I
And
will say this, it is less likely for women to use a handgun in committing suicide.
exactly. For some reason women prefer quieter methods. Like a gunshot leaves something for other people to clean up, and I feel like women are just very considerate, so we
Yes.
always go for something like poison or overdosing or suffocation, you know,
Yep.
like something that is going to be quick and it's going to be probably painful, but
We would rather
it's
go through some
yeah,
pain than to leave our loved ones with a horrible, like, traumatic mess to have to clean up.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I'm honest with you, I think that Casey was responsible for the death of his girlfriend, Christy Shelton, before I forget to say her name. Um,
Allegedly. We'll put allegedly on the end
allegedly,
of that.
allegedly.
Yeah.
That is my theory. Allegedly, I think that.
Well,
um,
also, if you think about it, not a lot of people are going to choose to shoot themselves in the chest either. There's
but with
too
a
much.
sawed-off
Yeah, that's
shotgun,
fucked,
that
man.
specifically, like if I understand that kind of the issue with shotguns is that like they're a little long, so you can't really pull the trigger.
Even
But
sawed
like,
off ones are long. People don't realize
yeah,
that, but it's
even sawed
true.
off ones are long. And also, she shot herself in the chest with it.
That's what I'm
How is she gonna
saying.
pull that trigger?
Like I'm trying to
There's
like I'm
not an
sitting
angle
here.
to kind of like shorten the distance. That is like you would have to reach all the way full out to pull that.
It'd be hard.
No, that makes no sense. Yeah.
I feel it's real dubious at best.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
that's not a that is not something that immediately comes to mind when I think about suicide, you know? But anyways, only 4 years after that alleged suicide of Christy Shelton, in 2012, Casey was actually sentenced to 6 years in prison for aggravated assault, but released in only half the time. What was the assault? He beat his brother to death. Well, not to death, but very, very close to death with an axe sledgehammer handle,
Oh
which I
my
didn't even know
God.
those existed. What the fuck is an axe sledgehammer? You know?
I didn't know
Uh,
that there was such a thing. I guess so the end would have like the blade on it and the other end's gonna have like a blunter end to act as a sledgehammer, probably for like
yeah,
demolition or like
I mean maybe,
lumberjacking. I don't know.
but yeah, no, he like
Kind
he
of want
aimed
one.
specifically for like the face and head area.
Oh, that's fucked.
And he thankfully the brother survived. Actually, it might have been a brother-in-law. I can't find that for sure either, surprisingly. But he as in Casey, he pled guilty to the charges and he was actually released in 2015. In only a few months of being released, White's MO took a change. He went on a crime spree in December of 2015 that rocked his boat so hard he went tipping over. December 1st of 2015, he broke into a home in Limestone County and stole two handguns. Later that same day, he showed up at his ex-girlfriend, a still unidentified woman's home, with both guns in tow.
Oh my
He
God.
was apparently sent into like some kind of jealous rage, and he believed that one of her two male roommates was her new lover. So he reportedly broke into her home and shot at her as she escaped to a neighbor's house before changing his target to the two men that were also residing in the home. Fun fact, they were gay. So, you know, kind of homophobic of him, but whatever. But
Just
those men,
add it to
according
the
to
list of his
officials,
innumerable crimes,
of
apparently.
his many, many crimes.
Yes.
But yeah, they fled through a nearby window and accidentally left two of the girlfriend's children like inside the home with White, which thankfully he didn't harm them. He did continue his rampage by just firing multiple gunshots just in the air in the house, resulting in the death of the ex's beloved dog. But like I said, both human children were actually fine. They basically sequestered themselves in the basement. Um, and it
Poor
only took an
things.
hour. Oh, sorry, where was I? Yep. And then Casey ended up fleeing. By the time police got there, he was gone and everybody seemed safe. So they were just taking people to make sure that they weren't harmed. And only an hour after that, another 911 call was reported with a man describing Casey White as the perpetrator, broke into his home and demanded money. The guy didn't have anything to give him, so Casey ended up taking the keys to the man's Ford Explorer and a 9mm pistol.
I'd be so
30
pissed.
minutes, 30 minutes after that, 30 minutes, White emerged at the Tennessee border at a welcome center along Interstate 65, where he approached an older woman sitting in her vehicle. When the woman refused to open the car door for him, Casey opened fire at the vehicle and successfully hit the woman in the arm before continuing his trail north, where he carjacked a Lincoln sedan at gunpoint. And then, fun fact, literally a few hours later, deputies spotted White again in the reportedly stolen Lincoln back in Limestone County. Yeah, he drove back to where he had literally just committed a
What
bunch of
what
crimes,
is he doing?
and he just started living. He was just like, I'm done now.
Well, I got it all out of my
Um,
system, so I'm just gonna go home.
yeah, so he proceeded to lead them on a car chase that ended in an armed standoff after White got the stolen vehicle stuck in a field somehow. I still haven't figured out how he got it stuck in a field.
I mean, it's a field. It's not hard to get a car stuck in, to be fair.
Actually, there is a really interesting clip that the authorities released, actually showing Casey White requesting the then sheriff of Limestone County. And while he was waiting for the sheriff, he was actually making requests for cigarettes, actually Marlboro specifically, in case anybody was wondering, and a sun drop, which I believe is a drink, but
It is. It's like a Sprite.
yeah, I've never heard of it before. He later stated that he only wanted to kill his ex and then have the police finish him off afterwards, and that his only regret was that neither was successful, before making it clear that if he was released, he would kill the intended victim.
He sounds
Once
like a
Blake,
winner.
yeah, so once Blake, the sheriff, had arrived, it took another hour to calm Casey down enough to convince him to surrender. It took 4 years of county jail. So now we're in February of 2019 for White to finally be convicted of a total of 9 charges: attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend, kidnapping of the two roommates, first-degree robbery, first-degree burglary, third-degree burglary, breaking and entering a vehicle, animal cruelty, and attempting to elude the police, not to mention the still pending charges in Giles County, Tennessee, which to this day have not resolved.
No, they
From those
typically let those
charges,
things go.
yeah, actually, it's kind of annoying. I don't like when they do that because
Oh,
I would
sorry, me
rather,
and whoop, I'm going. Me and Willow have talked about this before, especially in murder cases with serial killers where you have like victims in multiple states, and they'll often only go after a couple of the cases they have the most evidence for, which I guess I get, but I really feel it's kind of disrespectful to the victims. And in this guy's
I
case,
agree.
he needs more years added onto his sentence because he just shouldn't be let out again. He's dangerous.
Oh, well, don't worry about that. From those charges, White was actually sentenced to 75 years in prison,
Oh, well, then I
uh,
approve.
to be served at William E. Donaldson Correctional Facility in Jefferson County. Um, his former attorney, Bryant, stated Casey detested Donaldson, because he was actually stabbed on 3 different occasions, and was basically just desperate to get out. And he actually requested that Bryant get him sent to Tennessee to face the charges launched against him there. So, in an act of desperation in 2020, Casey White was indicted for capital murder for October of 2015. So, 2 months before, or sorry, yes, 2 months before the December fiasco, for murder of 59-year-old Connie Jane Ridgway, who was found stabbed to death in the living room of her apartment across the street from Lauderdale County High School's football field. He was charged with capital murder during a first-degree burglary and murder for like money. So he was basically a hitman.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah. So court records indicate prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, against Casey White, who actually pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. And while it is true that White was diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia, fun fact, I'm schizoaffective bipolar and I haven't murdered anybody, and meth addiction, Dale Bryant, his former attorney, actually doesn't think that Casey committed the murder and wanted to lie in hopes that he got transferred.
Well, and also, and we've pointed this out on this podcast like a million times before, the definition of like not guilty by reason of insanity is a legal term. It's not a medical term. And that it has certain criteria. It doesn't matter if he's cuckoo bananas or not. Super doesn't. Just doesn't. Because there are plenty of people we've covered that definitely would be what I would call not guilty by reason of insanity, who have legitimate like schizophrenia or other things, or they were currently having psychosis, for example, and who should apply to, but because it's a legal term, etc. Just breaking in there. Please
Yeah, no,
continue.
you're absolutely right. So yeah, so the arrest came from, according to the district attorney Chris Connolly, after an investigator with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office received a letter in June of 2020. The investigator later did an interview with White at the Jefferson County Prison, where White confessed to the stabbing. And some of his statements actually did match certain evidence that was found at the crime scene that was not released during the investigation. Um, The district attorney also later went on record by saying that he didn't understand why White decided to come forward and talk with the detectives personally about it. Since then, records show Casey White was actually transferred back and forth between Donaldson and Lauderdale County Jail, and it appears that that is when it appears that fuck, there it goes, that the relationship between him and Vicky White developed. See, I told you I was gonna fuck up one word. I was gonna fuck up some words.
Oh, hey, we all do it. So you're okay. That's just how we know you're not an android. So you're safe.
That's, I guess, technically true.
It is. It is.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, according to White's ex-attorney Bryant, he actually knew nothing of Vicky White or the blossoming relationship that had started to grow. However, his mother, White's mother, said the couple met in 2020 when Casey was sent back to Lauderdale County Jail after he confessed to the murder of Connie Ridgway. Once he was sent back to the state prison, one of the guards, Vicky White, actually started to write to him. And according to the mom, Vicky was very devoted to Casey, like going as far as to visit his grandchild and send birthday gifts to both the grandchild and his still like underage. I think he was like 12, like 12-year-old son. So they were like in on it. They were in love.
I know, but like, how can you just, the man is comprised solely of red flags.
I mean, here's the interesting part. Vicky was actually old enough that by the time that they did the cool part of this crime that I'm going to start talking about, she was about to retire. Like on the day of her retirement is when they pulled the big part off. But when I say they were in love, like he exclusively referred to Vicky to his mom by either his wife or his love or something cutesy. Like he just loved little nicknames for her. It was disgusting. And it was also revealed that Vicky and Casey began communicating by phone, including phone sex, like fucking phone sex in a prison, and
What?
had 949 calls
Hold on.
between like, yeah.
What, how, was it like a year? You said we talked about this earlier. It was a
It
year.
was
There were
like it was like
900.
a year and some months, and it
That's
was
still so many.
949 calls.
And
That's
I
like
thought
2 to 3 calls a day.
like prison calls are monitored though. So who fell down on the job there?
I don't know. I personally like to think that they just got really lucky and it was like a voyeur every time. And he was just, ploinking his little joinus to it.
Or they just don't like monitor the calls like they say they do, which I suspect.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would just be easier to let that kind of thing go than to not monitor the calls, because if you didn't monitor the
Yeah,
calls,
yeah. I see what you're
how
saying.
many things do you think would be, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because they
Um
usually catch so many people like with prison phone calls, they like catch them saying some shit. So they just hear
yeah.
him like getting freaky, and they're like, oh, "Okay, we're just gonna let him have it." I can see that.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so when he was at the state prison, they were doing phone calls and they were sending each other love letters, and it was cute and adorable. But when Casey was at Vicky's prison, because Vicky was pretty high up there. Like I said, she's about to retire. So she has some control over the prison. She got him placed in her particular cell block, which is cell A1. And he got special privileges like extra food and like more computer time and like other stuff. And then eventually Vicky started coming into his cell to have like physical sexual contact with him, which
Conjugal visits.
actually, yeah, which actually makes Casey the victim in that, because there is now a like law, and there was a
Yes.
law at the time about how prison inmates and prison guards cannot have any sexual relation.
No, because it's a power imbalance, and it kind of fucks with
Yeah,
consent that way.
it does. So the detention center was unfortunately short staffed, and that was kind of how Vicky was getting away with this. And since she was only a few weeks from retirement, everything seemed to be running decently smoothly. However, nobody really knew that when Vicky was leaving the prison, so was Casey. They actually did discover that they had a dry run of her taking the prisoner into
I did
custody
not know
and leaving
that.
the prison with him for 40 minutes. They were
I didn't
gone,
know
and not a
that.
single person knew. Um, but the actual escape came on the very last day of Vicky's employment with the prison. Vicky actually had one of her coworkers bring Casey to booking and shackled him at 9:30, telling staff that she was taking him out for a mental health evaluation at the local courthouse, for his insanity plea.
Right.
And that can sometimes take a few hours. So they left at 9:41 a.m., according to staff, but by 3:30, they were gone a lot longer than usual. So they contacted the county sheriff and the lead investigator, Matt Burbank. The sheriff, Rick Singleton, and the lead investigator, Matt Burbank, who were not at the jail that day. And they immediately realized that there was a problem, which was driven home further when they looked at the camera footage of their exit. And they noticed that Casey walked behind Vicky and that she was alone, which broke protocol for staff escorting violent criminals.
Damn.
Later, Vicky's patrol car was actually found deserted at the local shopping center, and the pair fled in a stolen 2007 Ford Edge, an orange 2007 Ford Edge. Arrest warrants were issued immediately for both suspects, and it took 11 days of authorities desperately searching. In that time, they had set up tip lines, they had patrols out constantly, and the couple were really smart about it.
Well, they'd
And
probably
in
given it a lot of thought, to be fair.
Well, here's the thing. So his mom, Connie, actually believes that Vicky was the one who planned the entire escape because Casey was kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'd gathered
Uh,
that.
he was actually known to be illiterate, like almost completely illiterate. Um, so I'm saying uh, they think that Vicky, or she at least thinks that Vicky is the reason why Casey tried to get out of jail to begin with. Um, but like I said, they were doing it smart. They actually tried to change the color of the orange Ford into something less noticeable,
Yeah, that's
like by
pretty freaking
slathering
funny.
paint. I want to actually say it was spray paint that they found on it, before they just abandoned it completely. And they stole a 2006 Ford F-150 that was like a dark blue. And then they headed north, passing through Tennessee and staying in several motels with surveillance footage showing that they had changed their appearances to avoid being caught. So she was like a naturally very light blonde. And on multiple videos, it looked like she had like a deep or like a medium to deep brown, and that he had changed his haircut and shaved. Um,
Should have put
Anyways,
on
they
some fake
were
glasses because obviously that hides people's identities really well. But
I actually agree with that.
no, it
I am
really
for
does. I'm
that.
not playing.
It changes the way that your entire eye area looks. I don't know.
It changes
It's
how you're
crazy.
perceived too. I mean, there's been studies shown that people believe people with glasses are smarter. And I
Huh.
wear glasses, so I mean, maybe there's some
I
truth to
also
it.
wear glasses. Mine
I
are
wear
heart
reading
shaped,
glasses just because I'm fucking
unironically.
old and I can't see.
Mine are prescription heart shaped because I'll be damned if I'm
Oh,
anything except for adorable.
you are pretty fucking cute. It's true.
Yay. Aw.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyways, the couple was actually eventually apprehended in Evansville, Indiana, where they paid a homeless sex offender to reserve a room for them at a motel for 2 weeks.
Like you do.
On May 9th, a car wash employee called in a tip to local authorities after they took the stolen truck for a wash, leading the police arriving to the motel where the Whites were staying. They fled, stealing a gray Cadillac and starting a police chase that ended with the couple driving onto a field before crashing into a patrol car. And then basically the Cadillac just fucking flipped and went into a ditch.
Sorry.
And that trapped Vicky inside. And Casey was able to like crawl out. And somehow during this, Vicky had accidentally, like, we're not sure if she dialed or if she like butt dialed 911. But there is a voice recording of the 911 call where Vicky is actually heard pleading with Casey to run and not look back. And then she allegedly shot herself in the head.
Wow.
And they had like a deal where he was going to die in a gunfight and that she would kill herself if they were ever apprehended.
That's some
And
Bonnie and Clyde shit.
well, yeah, I always liken it to Hitler, how like they both
Oh, yeah,
commit
yeah.
suicide. And I
Yeah,
was like,
imagine
it's
ending up in a ditch on fire on your birthday. Maybe you shouldn't be such a cunt.
yeah, but the fucked up part about it is that Casey surrendered after
That
hearing the
pussy.
gunshot.
That
That
pussy.
douchebag.
You
Like
disloyal pussy. You
that
craven son of
woman
a bitch.
sold her home, cleared out her retirement accounts. Fun fact, she actually never even finished the paperwork to like complete her retirement from the jail. So she was still technically employed by them
Ooh, that make
when
the
she
crime
died.
worse. Yeah, make the crime worse.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you
So
made some mistakes.
it it is awful.
Yeah.
So anyways, he was brought into custody. And it wasn't until 2023 that Casey White was actually charged with first degree murder after Vicky's death. However, he did take a plea deal to plead guilty to the first degree escape in exchange for the murder charge to be dropped. And he is now
He didn't
serving
kill
life
her.
in prison and prohibited from ever contacting Vicky's surviving family. The soonest he will be eligible for parole is in 2081, where he will be a whopping 98 years old. However, in 2022, Casey also alleged that he murdered a woman and a little girl in Indiana while he was on the run with Vicky. Um, Now, the police have done a lot of digging, public records. They've had search, like they really tried to find anybody that could be missing, and basically everybody says there's no fucking way. Like we would have noticed by now.
Yeah, and
Um,
killers and criminals and of all kinds, even people who haven't committed a crime, often confess falsely to things for some fucking reason.
yep. So yeah, so basically a few months after he was sentenced to life, the charges for Ridgway's murder were dropped. Prosecutors were basically like, Casey's already sentenced to life in prison. Why add more? And it's
See,
like,
that's what I'm always
that's fair.
saying. I guess, but
However,
I feel bad for the victims. But you said like even his attorney didn't think he killed her, but he did know stuff
yep,
about the crime that he shouldn't have.
I, if I'm honest with you, my theory is that she was already murdered by the time he went in there and he just stole shit because he was a known meth addict. So he might have broke in there, like he might have known her somehow, or maybe just followed her, or just knew that
Or
she was
knew who
there.
did it, and then he's just taken the fall for it because he wanted to be transferred.
Yeah. Or that is a thing that happens in prison
Yeah.
sometimes where like murderers will give, or not just murderers, but like people who have done crimes will give it out to other people, and
Hmm.
those people will take credit, one, to get the heat off the first guy, but two, to give the second
Yeah.
person street cred.
Either that or
But
just
just so
get them
you
a better
know,
situation or improve somebody else's situation. Deals like that are made all the time amongst
oh
prison
yeah.
populations, for sure.
But just so you know, Ridgway's surviving kids actually did agree that like it was fine to drop those
Okay,
charges. Like they
cool.
would they would rather he be in prison
Okay.
than to possibly take him out just so that he can fucking, get tried for a different thing.
You know what? And that's fine. To me, I think the family should be asked in those circumstances. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. Because I just want people to have their sense of justice, the victims' families and such. Because they're so. I don't even feel like we. I don't know why I'm even complaining about a lack of resources for like the families of violent crimes. Because like
Hmm.
this is America, there's lack of resources for everything. So we can go fuck ourselves.
We have resources.
No. Silly.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
mean,
get
I'm Gen
I'm not
Z,
gonna
so
get on it.
I'm gonna probably be like the last generation that actually knows what Social Security is, which is crazy.
I know. Me and Maris were just talking about that actually. Our kids aren't going to
Uh,
get Social Security. We probably won't either.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably won't. My
Worked all
mom's
my
not
damn
going to,
life.
which is like
Pissed me
not
off.
fair.
It's not. But you know what is fair?
What?
Just say what? Yeah. Business time. That's my segue.
Wow,
Yeah, you've
business
never heard me do the
time.
segue. Business time. So join our Patreon. You have over 600 hours of content, and it is very nice. So if you liked this, well, there's just 600 more hours of it. And then you join our Discord if you want to suggest us cases, show me your dog or other pet. What did you make for dinner? I want to know all these things. Why? I don't know. I just do. So please tell me. And you can come and talk to me and Maddie in there. We hang out in there.
Yep. Well, I am basically always awake. Literally always.
It's because you're young and you have strength.
No, it's actually because I'm very severely mentally ill, but thank you.
Oh yeah, samesies. It's so fun. And then you might merch. We have that too. Go check it out. If you want to give us a little tips, we can buy ourselves some coffee. Go check out our coffee. Yeah,
Yes.
and that's
Actually,
unless
we
you
will
have
be
business
having
time.
new merch rolling out soon as well. Now that
Because
I'm on the team,
Maddie's an
uh,
artist
I
too.
I am. Fun fact, and I love to draw cute little things, and I would love if you guys put cute little things that I drew on your bodies.
I'm gonna do it.
Um,
I'm gonna put them on t-shirts. So you have to do it for me, please, please.
Yay!
I'm so
And we'll talk
excited.
about doing other stuff. I'm not sure yet. That's a
I'm not
conversation.
gonna give this person's name just yet, but we have another member of the Cruel team, and they're helping us with research, and we're gonna have a website very soon. And they do not
Yeah.
know how much they have my eternal gratitude and love because I'm bad at expressing myself because I'm severely mentally ill. But I'm so thankful. And if they'll let me, I will give them credit at the end of every episode for all the hard work they do, which is so nice.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
fantastic. We did announce them kind of lightly well, I'm trying to say last week, on my introductory episode. We might even be able to pull her on here at some point if she's up
sure.
for it.
Yeah,
And
we've had
she can just
producer
talk
Will
about,
on, you know.
yeah, we should have our whole team involved at some point.
I agree.
Because everybody deserves appreciation on the Cruelty podcast.
That is correct. I agree with you. I like to give credit where it's due. But if they will allow me, I'll give them a proper shout out next time. As for next time, let's see what I don't even know what day it is. Well, we'll have a new theme, and no, we haven't decided on it yet. But me and Maddie and Willow will all put our little noggins together and figure it out.
I can at least confirm my birthday, my 21st birthday, which is like one of the big ones.
It is one of the
Uh
big
my
ones.
my 21st birthday is coming up, and my 21st birthday is March 9th, which is known for the day that God, what is that rapper's name that I'm suddenly forgetting? I want to say Tupac, but I don't think it was. I want to say it was somebody else.
I don't think it was Tupac
Biggie,
either, but I'll look him up.
maybe?
Maybe it was Biggie.
I think
We
it might
covered
have
both
been
of them,
Biggie.
by the way.
Oh, have you? Damn it.
Hell
I wanted
yeah.
to do my own March murder
Sorry
because
about
it's my
it.
birthday.
I'm looking it
Fuck.
up.
It's
Uh,
B.I.G. Yeah.
yeah, it's
The
Big
notorious
because
B.I.G.
Tupac was September 7th,
Yeah.
1996. Rest in peace, Tupac. One of my
Oh.
favorite rappers. Because I
Is
was
that really?
16, 17 when he was shot. Yeah, and that's what I listened
Oh,
to. I was a
that's
goth kid,
crazy.
right? I was a goth theater kid,
Uh-huh.
but I really loved 90s gangster rap.
I feel that.
It's because I smoked a lot
Um,
of weed and it goes good with weed.
well,
Like it
did you
just
do the
does.
notorious B.I.G.? Because if you didn't,
Mm-mm.
I'm doing the
We
murder that
did.
happened on my birthday.
We did
Damn
Biggie,
you.
yeah.
Damn you.
Did we? I'll check. I'll check and I'll get back to you. I'll
I'm
get
gonna
back to
do
you.
it again,
But maybe we could
but
do like crime and hip hop month. I think that'd be really cool.
that would be really cool.
I know we've
I don't
covered
know what
Big Lurch. I know
I
we
don't
covered
know
Tupac.
what month March is like themed around because like if
Leprechauns.
February is Black History Month, okay, not what I was thinking of.
No. We could do Irish murders and I'll do a bad Irish accent like the whole fucking time. Yeah. No, let's not do that.
You mean just
Stupid.
be incredibly racist?
It's not
Uh,
racist, it's cultural. Ist. And they're
okay.
white people, so I can be mean if I want.
Is that
Oh, don't
I
worry, I'll
mean,
get
I
hate mail for that one.
suppose.
Oh, I've triggered so many people just now. But it's okay because we have fans in Ireland and they are used to my bullshit.
Do we actually have
Bless
fans in
them.
Ireland? Is that
We have fans
true?
all over the world. Yes, we do.
Okay, so
Especially
I'm
Eastern Europe.
looking I okay, so I'm
Why?
looking at what March is apparently, and it's listed as Red Cross month. So we could do like nurses or like doctors'
We
murders
have done
or
two of
something
those
like that.
already, so I think we have covered a lot
And
of
then
those.
and
Or
then it's also
possibly.
National Women's History Month. So we could do like all females. But I feel like that's something that you probably do often.
We have done that a couple times, yeah.
But like nat National Women's History Month. And I'm a woman. I'm a woman. Fun fact.
We're women's.
We as women's.
It is
Correct.
true. I don't I'm so mad about the state of everything that I have a hard time. I want to pick like my topic is like incoherent screaming for the rest of the month. Hmm? Maybe
Honestly, a little scream minute would do me so
as a
well. Like
treat.
if I could
Yeah,
be I don't want anybody to hear me. I don't want to feel my scream echo. I want to be in like a soundproof chamber
that's
where
creepy.
I can like go completely ham and just like fucking wail my body
Oh, I want
against
someone to
against the
witness
walls.
my like feminine unhinged rage, like from like Midsummer type rage. Like I want to burn a guy in a bear suit in a yellow triangular building. I'm just really mad. But it's
I
fine.
forgot about that part of Midsummer.
It's my
That
favorite
whole
part.
movie is just fucking crazy. I agree. That is a good. I'm so glad that he dies in that.
He's
He
such a cunt
deserves
in
it.
the whole movie. Arg, arg. It's not my favorite Ari Aster film, but it is number
Men
two.
men deserve it.
They do. Oh, don't worry, you'll get hate mail for that, but it'll come to me.
That's okay. Actually, they can bring it to me directly. I'll fight them. I
You
will
just give
I
me your email
will throw
address
the
and I'll
fuck down.
slap it right there in the description of this podcast and say, "All Maddie hate this way, all Lillian hate this way," because I've taken Willow's hate for years.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have like an email that I want my hate mail specifically to go to though.
You need a an email that just says, "Oh, just put it in your butt at gmail.com." They have to type
Oh,
that
you
all
know
out.
what? I do have an old slutty email address
Ooh,
that
slutty email.
I could yeah, it's oh my
I
God, am I
love
gonna
that.
say this stupid email on live on podcast?
Say it, do it. You have to do it now.
Say
You
it.
opened the can of
Okay.
worms.
It's Maddie Mattie is a cumslut at gmail.com. And you can send all of your hate mail to me specifically.
That's so
Uh
rad. I love that so much.
and you know what?
Oh
If you send me hate mail, it's just gonna make me stronger. So do it like buyer beware, honestly.
yeah, it gets me excited, perhaps even sexually. Is that what you want to
I
do?
I was about to say, I might jerk off to it.
It
Honestly, if
might
my ego,
happen. Yeah. I
yeah,
might have already done it. You don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Oh,
You can't
you're
prove
like
anything.
upset and anger towards me. It just makes me happy.
Oh my God, man tears.
Yummy. All right, well,
Yes,
that's enough of our
exactly.
nonsense, and now you will say goodbye.
And we will say goodbye. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed Maddie's first lead episode.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.